This video will be showing you how to complete the assignment Soundtrap Project Custom Ringtone. The directions say create a short, fun ringtone on Soundtrap. Here are the requirements. Your ringtone should have a title that includes your name and the title of this project. For example, if your name was John Smith, your title would be John Smith Custom Ringtone. Your ringtone should also have a bass track, a drum track, a synth lead track, and you should only have 3 to 4 tracks in total, and your tracks altogether should not be any more than 8 to 16 measures long. Take a look at step 1. It says log into Soundtrap. So the first thing you'll do is click on this link here. Once you click on this link, it will take you to Soundtrap, but it'll take you to the education side of Soundtrap. This is not the correct location. What you have to do is you have to switch over to Music Makers by clicking on that tab. Once you have clicked on that tab, you will see the login button. If you have yet to get started in Soundtrap, you have to click on this button here first and sign up with Google. If you have already done all of that, you are ready to hit login and then choose to log in with your Google account. From there, step 2 says to enter the studio. You will see the Enter Studio button right there. From there, it says step 3, choose music, not podcast. That means once this is loaded up, you have a choice right here to either choose a music project or a podcast project. You want to choose a music project. From there, step 4 says title your song with your name and the title of this project. Where you can find that is at the top of your screen. You will see a saved button and then untitled song to begin with a little pencil. When you click on this, you can then change the name to whatever your name is, and then the title of this project, Custom Ringtone. From there, you can hit enter, and then your name will automatically be saved with that new title. Step 5 is all about actually creating the project and creating your song. It says create your own custom ringtone using the requirements above: the bass track, the drum track, the synth lead track, and you also want to make sure there are only 3 to 4 tracks in total, and the length is between 8 to 16 measures long. If you need to know how many points any of these requirements are, you can see that from above. To begin, let's find a bass track. To find a bass track, the first thing you want to do is open up your loops library. And there are 2 ways that you can do this. You can either click on the button that says Browse Loops, and from here you will see the loop library, or instead, there is an icon in the top right corner. This is a little music note icon. When you click on it, that also takes you to the loop library. Because the first thing we need is a bass track, we are going to come over and select bass. You can see how many bass options there are here. Something to notice, if any of the bass loops tracks say start free trial, you cannot add them into your songs. That is because we do not have a kind of account that has this kind of trial or account. So once you take a look at the bass tracks, you can hit the play button to listen to them. When you find one you like, you can add it into your song. There are a couple different ways that you can add it into your song. The first way is to click and drag it all the way over to the area. You'll notice up here, this is called a looper or repeater. How it works is as the song is playing, if this is highlighted, it will go all the way to where the highlight ends and then immediately go back to the beginning. If you do not want this on, you can click it off. Another way to add a track into your song is to click the Add button and then choose Add New Track. The final option way that you can add in a song is to double click and it will automatically add it in. If you want to delete a track, you come over to the track, hit the top right button that is 3 dots, and then choose Delete Track. Again, on whatever track you want to delete, you go to the top right corner, click the 3 dots, and then from there choose Delete Track. Now that I have my bass track that I want, I am going to come over and now find a drum track. So over on my loops, I'm going to get rid of bass, and now I'm going to add in drums. So the same process as before, I'm going to listen to different tracks, and I'm going to find one I like, and I'm going to add it in. To move a track, you can simply move it to the left or to the right like so. Now that I have a bass and drum track, I'm going to listen to these two together to make sure it sounds good. Once I have decided that they do sound good, I am going to go on to the next step, which is adding in a synth lead track. A synth lead track means it's the melody of the piece. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to get rid of drums, and then I'm going to choose synth, which means synthesizer. And from there, I'm going to listen to the different synths and find one that I like. When I find one I like, I'm going to add it in. Now, I don't want this synth track to last the entire time. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to cut it. The way that you can cut this, there's two ways. In the top right corner, you'll see a little repeater button. If you click and drag that to the left, sometimes you'll be able to cut the track that way. If, for example, on this one, it doesn't let you do anything, you have to go to the bottom right corner and click and drag from there to cut it. Now that I have cut this synth track, I want to add in a second synth track that starts after this synth track is over. But I only want this synth track to last until the end of this orange looper. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to the top right corner of this track and make sure that my cursor has the repeater kind of button on it and click and drag it over to the right until it stops where I want it to. Now that I have a bass track, a drum track, and two synth tracks I like, I'm going to listen to it all together. If it doesn't sound good, I can delete something and add something else in. You want to make sure you get it sounding exactly how you like it. Now, let's make sure that this project that I have created, this song, meets all of the requirements. First up, does my ringtone include a title that has my name and the title of this project? If my name was John Smith, the answer would be yes. Next up, bass track. My bass track is the red track you see on my screen. Next up, drum track. Yes, my drum track is this pink. Next up, a synth lead track. Yes, I do have, actually, I have two synth lead tracks. Then it says only have 3 to 4 tracks in total. This can be confusing to some people. That means that you only have 3 or 4 of these tracks from the loop library. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I cannot have any more for the requirements of this song because if I add in more, it's going to sound too muddy. Finally, the last requirement says it should be 8 to 16 measures long. The measures are represented by these numbers up here. This number represents measure 1, the 2, measure 2, the 3, measure 3, the 4, measure 4, the 5, measure 5, the 6, measure 6, the 7, measure 7, the 8, measure 8, the 9, measure 9. So as you can see, it actually goes all the way to the end of the 8, which means that my custom ringtone right now is exactly 8 measures long. And you can have your custom ringtone go up to 16 measures long. So sometimes what people like to do is they like to make their ringtone longer and have the bass line go the entire time, but maybe only have the drum track go half the time. And then maybe also they have one synth part play during part of it, and then the other synth part play during the other half of it. So that's something to think about if you want your custom ringtone to be longer, is to decide if you want one part to go longer, or maybe, for example, you only want the bass to play in the beginning and the drum to play at the end, and to switch up the synthesizers. Some people want their custom ringtone to be shorter, so they have it only go all the way to the end of 8. And they don't want to have 2 synth tracks in like I have here. Sometimes people want to find a different track from the loop library altogether. A lot of times you can find something really stupid but fun in the vocals section, and you can absolutely add in a vocal so long as you already have a bass, a drum, and a synth track in there. Or some people like to find an SFX, which is things like a wobbly sound or a ghost or something like that. So for example, let's just quickly add in maybe the sound of a swish happening. And I want the swish to happen right at the end before the custom ringtone goes back to the beginning. So that is the requirements for the project. Step 5, when ready to turn in, click share, then copy the link, then add the link into this assignment, and then hit turn in. So first step, we have to click share. In the top right corner, that is where you see the share button. Once you click share, after that, you're going to see this pop-up happen. You are going to choose share via link, and all you have to do is click the copy button. Once you click the copy button, a pop-up will come up and you just have to confirm and hit copy again. From there, you're going to go over to this assignment in Google Classroom and you are going to paste the link into this assignment. Once the link is added, you can hit the turn in button on this assignment. If you need any clarification from this, feel free to rewatch this video or send me a message if I am not with you. Good luck!